Good evening. Tonight's production is fiction, a political satire inspired by public events and exaggerated for comedic effect. Any resemblance to reality is part of the joke. So please, take your seats, adjust your expectations, and surrender to the spectacle. Because what follows is bigger than fact, sharper than rumor, and just a little too proud of itself. And now, with brass in the air and the curtain lifting high, welcome to the Orange Man musical. Welcome, children. Today, we're learning geography. I know every country. Some of them even exist. I looked upon the world today and saw it needed change. The borders looked suspicious and the names were very strange. Too many little countries, too many foreign seas. So bring me one enormous map and several Sharpies, please. The experts brought an atlas. I said this book is fake. Then moved Iran beside Japan and put France in the Great Lakes. North goes south, east goes west. Every answer is the best. When the facts refuse to fit, draw another line through it. Make geography great again. Move the mountains, shift the sand. Every border, every ocean needs the Orange Man's command. Make geography great again. Draw the whole world by hand. If a country won't behave, put a tariff on the land. Point and guess, point and guess. Confidence will do the rest. Point and guess, point and guess. Wrong but loud is still the best. Greenland is a business deal. Canada's a northern state. Mexico will pay for clouds and Spain should pay us rent for rain. Denmark owns some useful ice but clearly has too much. So slap my name across the snow and call it orange slush. The Panama Canal looks nice, we probably built the sea. And if Australia turns around, it's practically Tennessee. By the poles, tax the moon. Mars will join the Union soon. When a nation says we're free, offer cash and property. Make geography great again. Move the mountains, shift the sand. Every border, every ocean needs the Orange Man's command. Make geography great again. Draw the whole world by hand. If a country won't behave, put a tariff on the land. Africa's a single place, Europe is a golf resort. Asia starts near Mar-a-Lago and extends beyond New York. The Baltic Sea is very weak, the Arctic lacks a wall. The Persian Gulf should change its name to something huge and tall. The equator leans too far, the longitude is woke. The globe is round because the left designed it as a joke. An aide said, "Sir, that isn't true." I said, "Then why is it in a book?" Where is Iran? Next to Japan. Where is Greenland? In my plan. Who owns Canada? Unclear. Who checked the map? Not here. But if facts say we are wrong, tariff them and move along. I renamed all 7 oceans. The names were far too plain. The big one, nigga big one, Trump C1 through Trump C5. Mount Everest was overrated. I've seen taller hotel walls. The Amazon is just a website. Nobody needs trees at all. Then NATO asked about Article 5. I said, that sounds like rent. They smiled and praised my wisdom till the awkward moment went. Praise the map, praise the pen, move the countries once again. Every leader understands. Smile and clap and shake his hand. think twice as grand. Some men study maps for decades, some men learn before they speak. I just stare into the distance and invent one every week. I don't need coordinates, I don't need longitude.
All I need
is confidence, a microphone, and attitude.
He moved Japan,
He bought the pole,
he taxed the wind,
he fired the globe,
he named the sea,
he claimed the moon, and
Mars will pay for rockets soon.
made geography great again. Raise the Sharpie, praise the plan. Every country is much better when it's drawn by orange men.
Make geography great again.
Move the whole world while you can. Iran, Japan, and Pennsylvania, basically the same damn land.
Make geography great again.
Every map deserves a ban. When the planet looks confusing,
Blame the globe and praise the man.
north, south, left,
right.
Who needs facts when you're always right? Land,
Sea,
ice, everything belongs to Orange Man. Tomorrow's lesson.
history.
I remember all of it. Most of it happened to me. The Orange Man entered NATO, ignored the briefing, fired the atlas, and pointed at Japan. Nobody knows geography better. Believe me! They brought him maps and experts. They brought the generals in. He spun the globe and closed his eyes and proudly pointed east again. 100 missiles hit our ship, a vicious, evil plan. They all were fired by the dangerous Islamic State of Japan. An aide said, "Sir, you mean Iran?" He said, "That's what I said. You're fired." Sound alarms, wake the fleet, hide the codes beneath the chair. The Orange Man is naming countries based on vibes and orange hair. The Islamic State of Japan, sushi sanctions, Ramadan. The Orange Man has solved the crisis with a Sharpie and a spray-on tan. The Islamic State of Japan, greatest threat he ever spawned. Iran, Iraq, or Yokohama, close enough, now carry on. Check the map! He banned the map. Check the map! He sweeted the map. Check the map! The map requested witness protection. Zelensky sat beside him, trying hard to look composed. The Orange Man looked right at him and summoned Putin's ghost. President Putin, good to see you. Every camera slowly turned. He mocked old Biden's speaking skills while Ukraine watched and burned. Then called Zelensky President Putin without a single blink. Apparently the Orange Man had lost more than the link. The Islamic State of Japan, sushi sanctions, Ramadan. Call Zelensky President Putin, then pretend there's nothing wrong. The Islamic State of Japan, greatest nation ever drawn. Mix the leaders, mix the countries, smile proudly and move on. Who fired the missiles?
Japan.
Who runs Tehran?
Japan.
Who is President Putin?
Zelensky.
Who checked the facts?
Nobody.
Does he know that he was wrong? Absolutely not. Would that ever stop the man?
Absolutely not.
He can't read the map.
He can't follow the map.
He blamed the map.
Then he deported the map.
Then Spain became a traitor. Trade was thrown against the wall. Pay your share or face the tariffs. I'm the fairest of them all. He insulted every ally, said their loyalty was thin. Then 5 minutes later told the press, tremendous love within. They praised his strength and wisdom. They praised his perfect plan, because flattery is cheaper than correcting Orange Man. The Islamic State of Japan, sushi sanctions Ramadan, threatens Spain before your breakfast, praise the alliance before dawn. The Islamic State of Japan, everybody please stay calm. There is love and perfect unity while he swings another bomb. Then Greenland hit the market like a golf course by the sea. Denmark isn't using all that ice, so give the land to me. Denmark said, it isn't yours. Greenland said, we're not for sale. The Orange Man heard maybe later and prepared another deal. He put tariffs on the glaciers, put his logo in the snow, then asked if NATO Article 5 was a penthouse floor below. Emergency announcement. Iran is now Japan. Zelensky is now Putin. Greenland is now real estate. Spain is in the naughty corner. NATO reports tremendous unity. Nobody wants to correct him. Oh, the Orange Man has spoken, and reality has fled. Every microphone gets nervous, every dictionary plays dead. He can start a war by lunchtime, demand a peace prize before 10, confuse the country being bombed, then bomb the wrong one again. Nobel peace from the bomb. Meet the Allies, pay the cost, tidy hand, massive claims. Every country gets new names. Iran became Japan, Zelensky became Putin, Greenland became property, Spain became the enemy, NATO became family. Reality left the building. The Islamic State of Japan, sushi sanctions Ramadan. The Orange Man declared a victory over somewhere near Taiwan. The Islamic State of Japan, built from eagle, fog and tan. No one knew that it existed till it crawled out of the Orange Man. The Islamic State of Japan, Spain and Greenland, get in line. He wants a Nobel Peace Prize while the bombers fly on time. The Islamic State of Japan, greatest country never drawn. When reality gets inconvenient, scream fake news and carry on. Check the map, he fired the map. Check the facts, he tariffed the facts. Check his notes, the notes just say, winning Japan, Putin, Greenland, Nobel Prize. They tell him Japan is not Iran, fake geography. They say Greenland is not for sale. We'll see. Spain knows what it did now. Which country were we bombing? Believe me. Welcome to NATO. A room full of allies, friends, and people who owe me money. They love me here. You can tell, because nobody is leaving. I entered through the golden doors. The cameras filled the hall. Every leader shook my hand and smiled against the wall. They praised my tie, they praised my hair, they praised my mighty plan. One whispered, just keep nodding till he finally leaves again. I said, you all look overjoyed, your happiness is clear. They said, of course, Mr. President. Then someone hid the beer. Smile and wave, clap on cue, tell him every word is true. Keep him calm, praise his name, never mention who's to blame. Everybody loves me at NATO. Look at every frightened grin. Everybody loves me at NATO. Nobody knows where to begin. my style, love the way I talk for miles. Everybody loves me at NATO, or they're terrified. Same thing. I told the room, you're terrible, you never pay your share. Then 5 minutes later told the press, there's love in every chair. I threatened Spain before dessert, then praised them after tea. They smiled so hard their jaws locked up and called it unity. I said, the alliance has never been more strong, more warm, more true. Behind me 12 translators asked, what did he say we'll do? Praise his strength, praise his brain, tell him every loss was gain. When he turns and leaves the room, everybody breathes again. Everybody loves me at NATO. Look at every frozen smile. Everybody loves me at NATO. They've been blinking help for quite a while. They love my tariffs, love my threats, love collecting nervous debts. Everybody loves me at NATO, or they're terrified. Still counts. Who is NATO's favorite man? Orange Man. Who has the greatest plan? Orange Man. Who just threatened half the room? Orange Man. Who will praise him very soon? Everyone. Why? Because he's still got the microphone. The Frenchman praised my confidence, the German praised my shoes. The Dane said, Greenland isn't yours. I said, that's very rude. The British brought a compliment, the Italians brought a chair. The Dutchman brought an atlas, then was told to hide it somewhere. I said, you see, they worship me, the summit is a win. An aide replied, they asked you twice to kindly let them in. Shake his hand, praise his speech, keep the nuclear codes out of reach. Call him strong, call him wise, never let him improvise. Everybody loves me at NATO. Look at every polished face. Everybody loves me at NATO. They are smiling for diplomatic grace. They love my speeches, love my tone, love when I refuse to go home. Everybody loves me at NATO, or they're terrified. Beautiful people. Diplomatic sources confirm historic unity. All members agree. The safest course is to compliment him until he stops talking. I walked into the banquet room and raised a crystal glass to friendship, peace, and loyalty. Now who will pay me cash? The room went quiet. I said, you'll move. A tear fell from a cheek. It belonged to someone who had slept 3 hours that week. I said, no leader in this room has ever been so loved. A guard replied, sir, please put down the dove. They may call it fear, I call it respect. They may call it panic, I call it affect. They may avoid eye contact and hide beneath the table, but everybody loves me because I said that they are able. Smile, laugh, agree. Tell him this was history. Breathe, wait, don't correct. Keep the summit safe and checked. Everybody loves me at NATO. Raise the flags and praise the man. Everybody loves me at NATO, even those escaping in a van. They love my wisdom, love my tan, love the orange master plan. Everybody loves me at NATO. They're not afraid, they're overwhelmed with friendship. Oh, everybody loves me at NATO. Hear the nervous choir sing. Everybody loves me at NATO. Please don't let him touch anything. They love my tariffs, love my threats, love their rising defense debts. Everybody loves me at NATO. And if they don't, tariffs. Love, fear, same thing. Everybody praise the king. Smile, wave, don't say no. That's how NATO friendships grow. Wonderful summit, historic, tremendous unity. One leader cried when I left, probably from love. Diplomacy is complicated. Trade is complicated. So I simplified it. Tariffs. Beautiful word. Very expensive word. Called with questions about peace and foreign trade. I said, before we talk about it, tell me what your country paid. He mentioned jobs and markets, he mentioned common ground. I slapped a tax on everything and spun my chair around. The experts brought projections, they said the cost will climb. I said, that sounds like winning at a very profitable time. Raise the rate, stamp the form, make the quiet market storm. Every problem, great or small, gets a tax applied to all. The tariff man come, hear the cash register sing. The tariff man come, put a fee on everything. Steel and cars, shoes and grain, tax the sunshine, tax the rain. When diplomacy gets difficult, the tariff man cometh again. Spain was acting terrible, Canada talked back. Denmark kept protecting Greenland, very rude of them in fact. The French sent cheese, the Germans sent cars, the British sent some tea. I taxed them all for failing to agree completely with me. They said Americans will pay. I said, that cannot be. Then every store raised prices very patriotically. Tax the wheel, tax the road, tax the truck that bears the load. If the numbers turn out bad, blame the country that got taxed. The tariff man come, hear the cash register sing. The tariff man come, put a fee on everything. Steel and cars, shoes and grain, tax the sunshine, tax the rain. When diplomacy gets difficult, the tariff man cometh again. What solves war? Tariffs. What solves trade? Tariffs. What solves hurt feelings? Tariffs. What solves tariffs? More tariffs. Who pays them? They do. Are we sure? Imported tractors, I taxed the farmer's seed, then promised every farmer I would help them in their need. I taxed the parts for factories, then praised the rising cost. I called the market strong and healthy every time it lost. I taxed the wind from Europe, I taxed Canadian snow. I taxed the boats from Panama for knowing where they go. Raise it 10, raise it more, make the whole world pay at the door. If they strike us back in kind, call it cruel and undefined. The tariff man come with a document and pen. The tariff man come, then he raises them again. Food and phones, oil and wine, every loss was by design. When the bills arrive tomorrow, say the foreign plan worked fine. Breaking news. The administration has announced a temporary tariff on temporary tariffs. Markets reacted negatively. The tariff man described this as tremendous enthusiasm. The allies asked for mercy, the businesses asked why. The families checked their shopping carts and watched the totals fly. I said, you must be grateful, this pain will make you strong. Then blame the previous government for everything gone wrong. The world began retaliating, exports hit the floor. I said, they clearly fear us. Raise the tariffs 20 more. Some men solve a crisis with a treaty and a plan. Some men build alliances, but not the tariff man. He rides across the market with a calculator drawn, taxing every bridge he crosses till the bridge itself is gone. The ship, then tax the sail, tax the paper, tax the pen, tax it once, then tax again. The tariff man come, raise the banner, ring the bell. The tariff man come, make the checkout line a hell. Cars and clothes, milk and grain, tax the sunshine, tax the rain. When the voters start complaining, blame the world and tax again. The tariff man come, every nation, every friend. The tariff man come, there is no strategic end. If the policy starts failing, call it victory on demand. Every problem needs a tariff from the mighty Orange Man. Tax, tax, tax the land. Trust the great Orange Command. Pay, pay, pay the fee. Pay, pay. That's how trade becomes free. The tariffs are working. prices are rising, which means demand is high. Very successful. Next question. Next question. Beautiful island. Very cold, very large. Nobody's using all of it. Then the island cleared its throat and said, "We live here. Very defensive island." I saw Greenland on a map, a giant frozen prize, a little snow, a lot of land, fantastic northern size. I asked the experts what it cost. They said, "It is not sold, but everything has got a price, especially something cold." I offered towers, jobs, and fame, my logo in the snow. Then every village answered me with one enormous no. I said, "Think of business, think of gold." They said, "Our homeland isn't sold." I said, "Name a number, make it fair." They said, "There is no number there." Greenland is not for sale. That's what everybody said. Not for towers, not for tariffs, not for promises half read. Greenland is not for sale. Every mountain, every trail, I kept raising up the offer. They kept singing, "Not for sale." I called Denmark with a perfect plan. "Perhaps we make a trade. I'll give you somewhere warm and nice and several debts unpaid." They said, "You cannot buy a nation like a building you can lease." I said, "That sounds complicated. Let's discuss a finder's fee." I promised golf upon the glaciers, golden letters 10 feet tall. Greenland answered through the snow, "You do not own us at all." I said, "Think of tourists, think of fame." They said, "You cannot buy our name." I said, "Think of money, think of me." They said, "Think of sovereignty." Greenland is not for sale, not for threats and not for gold. You cannot buy a country just because the weather's cold. Greenland is not for sale, no percentage bid or fee. I kept shouting, "Everything sells." They kept shouting back, "Not me." I asked, "What is Greenland?" They said, "Not for sale." I asked, "What's the asking price?" They said, "Not for sale." I asked, "What if I build a tower?" They said, "Not for sale." I asked, "What if it's very tall?" They said, "Still not for sale." I asked, "What if I threaten tariffs?" They said, "Still our land." I asked, "Do I understand?" They said, "Not a chance." They told me we are not an island waiting empty in the snow. We are people, homes, and history more than lines upon your globe. You mistake refusal for a challenge. You mistake restraint for fear. You mistake another homeland for a branded souvenir. You may own 1,000 buildings, you may stamp them with your name, but sovereignty is not a product, and our future is not a game. Very emotional. Excellent speech. Still think we can make a deal. I said, "Everything is property if the paperwork is right." They said, "No amount of orange shouting makes your fantasy take flight." I said, "The atlas shows the island, therefore I should get a share." They said, "Seeing something on a map does not mean you own it there." Not a hotel, not a brand, not a frozen plot of land, not a tower, not a deal. This is home and this is real. Not for rent, not a cent, not a trophy president. Not your land, not your name. Sovereignty is not a game. Greenland is not for sale. Raise the ice and raise the sky. You cannot buy a homeland just because you
terrible negotiators. Strong chorus, though. We'll revisit this tomorrow.
Diplomacy requires preparation, respect, and knowing which president belongs to which war. I had 3 out of 4. The cameras flashed across the hall. The flags were standing tall. A nervous leader took his place beside the ballroom wall. I shook his hand and smiled wide. The press leaned in to hear. I said, "President Putin, it is wonderful you're here." The room went still, a glass hit stone. An aide began to pray. The man beside me cleared his throat. "I'm Zelensky." I said, "Exactly. That's the Ukrainian spelling. Names are hard, flags are strange. Every summit needs a change. If the facts don't fit the view, give the man a country too. President Putin, good to see you. How is Moscow? How's the war? President Putin, good to see you. Why are you crawling toward the door? Different face, different flag, same expensive name tag. President Putin, good to see you. Or whichever one you are. I praised his Russian leadership. I praised his Kremlin flair. He whispered, "Sir, I'm Ukrainian." I said, "We all have problems there." The translators dropped their headsets. The diplomats looked ill. One in turn changed the seating chart and quietly wrote his will. I asked him how Siberia was. He answered, "Occupied." I said, "Tremendous honesty. 6 ambassadors nearly died." Smile and nod, shake his hand, pretend this all was somehow planned. Keep the orchestra polite. Maybe history missed it, right? President Putin, good to see you. How is Kyiv? How's the snow? President Putin, good to see you. Why does everyone keep shouting no? Different war, different side. Minor details, let them slide. President Putin, good to see you. Very strong resemblance. Who is this man? Zelensky! Who did I say? Putin, is that correct? Not remotely. Does he care? Not emotionally. Who invaded Ukraine? Putin. Who defends Ukraine? Zelensky. Who just mixed them up? Orange man. Who still looks proud? Orange man. Then I mocked my rival. He can barely speak or stand. Then mispronounced 3 countries and saluted the catering band. I called the summit historic, I called the blunder wise. An aide unplugged the microphones and covered both his eyes. I called the Frenchman Angela and walked into a wall. I greeted Spain as Mexico, then complimented Gaul. Names may shift, facts may bend. Every stranger is a friend. When your memory starts to slide, add a tariff, smile with pride. President Putin, good to see you. How's the Kremlin? How's Japan? President Putin, good to see you. Welcome to the Orange Plan. Wrong salute, wrong parade, every blunder homemade. President Putin, good to see you. Please remove the microphone. Diplomatic officials confirmed that no identities were harmed. Several were misplaced. 2 leaders received new countries. 1 country was accidentally sold. The administration called it a successful exchange of names and accountability. The ballroom band resumed the waltz. The leaders formed a line. I greeted each with confidence and got them wrong each time. "Good evening, Mr. Trudeau. That's Macron. Close enough. Welcome, Chancellor Merkel, sir." She did not show up.
I called the Dane Norwegian, I called the Polish Swede, then asked the Prime Minister if NATO accepted fees. I called Estonia, Latvia, little France, then told the head of Luxembourg, you're doing great in pants. Tiny country, tremendous pants. Some men study briefing books, some memorize each face. I trust instinct, volume, and tremendous social grace. A name is just a label, a flag is just design. If I greet the wrong world leader, that is their problem, not mine. If Russia becomes Ukraine and France becomes Peru, then every summit ends in peace. Because nobody knows who's who. Check the tag, read the card. Why is this so very hard? Name, face, slap, date. Please correct him before too late. Put it here, put it there, putting everywhere. One for peace, one for war. Who was Zelensky before?
President Putin, good to see you.
Raise the glasses, strike the band.
President Putin, good to see you.
Every leader, shake my hand. Wrong man here,
Wrong man there.
presidents are everywhere.
President Putin, good to see you.
Zelensky, maybe, who can tell?
President Putin, good to see you.
History will judge this well.
President Putin, good to see you.
Please escort him from the hall. Different face,
Different flag.
someone burn the seating chart.
President Putin, good to see you.
I knew it all along.
Wrong name.
Right toe, every leader gets re-owned.
Wrong flag.
Lose state, fact checkers can sit and wait. Button one, button two, maybe one of them is you. Smile wide, shake hands. Welcome to the Orange Lands. Very successful meeting. He knew who he was. I knew who he was. With
Peace is very important. Nobody loves peace more than me. That is why we brought the bombers. I woke up feeling peaceful, so I called the generals in. I said, prepare diplomacy and make the engine spin. They brought me maps and options. They brought plans from A to Z. I said, which one wins a Nobel Prize and puts the focus back on me? They mentioned talks and treaties. I said, those things take too long. Can we launch a little peace instead and end this with a song? Raise the flag, ring the bell, send a message straight from hell. Peace is here, praise the plan. Drop it from a bomberman. Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb. Let the choir sing along. Nothing says negotiation like an airstrike set to song. Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb. Tell the world that war is gone. If the smoke blocks out the sunrise, that means peace is coming on. I told the press I stopped a war that had not started yet. They asked me for the details. I said details are a threat. I solved 12 wars by breakfast. Some were real and some were not. But every peace agreement needs a very public shot. I said no other president has ever done this much. Then signed a ceasefire with myself and praise the human touch. Shake my hand, praise my name. Every conflict is the same. If they fight, I win the day. If they stop, I let the way. Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb. Let the church bells beat the drums. Every city hears the message when agree?
Bomb them peacefully.
What if that creates a war?
Call it peace and bomb some more.
The committee asked for evidence. I mailed a golden frame. Inside I placed a photograph of me beneath my name. I wrote for ending every war, including future fights. Then added, please announce the prize during television nights. They said, sir, peace requires restraint. I said, I showed restraint. We had 100 bomber planes. I only ordered 8.
Very calm,
Very wise.
very wide.
Watch the peaceful missiles rise. Very soft, very kind.
Very kind.
Leave the consequences behind.
Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb.
Send the doves before the dawn. Paint the missiles bright and golden. Put a peace sign painted on.
Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb.
Make the whole world sing along. If the sirens sound alarming, that is just the victory song. Breaking news. The president has nominated himself for the Nobel Peace Prize. The nomination cites his historic restraint, tremendous humility, and several explosions. The explosions declined to comment. I held a peaceful rally with artillery behind. I told the crowd, be peaceful or we'll change your state of mind. The choir sang of mercy, the tanks rolled through the square. I released a flock of doves, one landed in my hair. I said, this proves the heavens have selected me for grace. The dove immediately panicked and departed from the place. Some men build a lasting peace through patience and accord. I build peace with giant letters and a very shiny sword. Some men lower tensions, some men calm the angry crowd. I explain that I am peaceful, very slowly, very loud. If peace needs fear, then fear is peace. If war brings calm, then war must cease. If bombs bring praise, then bombs are right. Now light the stage and strike the night. Peace, love, fire, smoke.
Tell the world it's not a joke.
Doves, tanks, bombs,
Rise.
watch the people missiles rise.
Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb.
Raise the banner, strike the gong. Every blast becomes a blessing when the branding is this strong.
Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb.
Tell the judges I belong. I prevented every conflict that I may have started wrong.
Drop the Nobel Peace Bomb.
Let the nation sing along. If the world survives the evening, I was peaceful all along.
Nobel Peace.
Nobel me
Put my face.
on history.
Praise the plan.
Praise the plan
Peace on earth.
by Orange Man. A beautiful operation, very peaceful, minimal conflict. Except for the conflict, I expect the medal by Friday. They brought me an atlas, very thick, too many pages, already suspicious. I opened up the book today and something wasn't right. The countries sat where countries sat before I changed them overnight. Japan was still beside the sea. Iran was somewhere else. Greenland wasn't marked for sale. I nearly lost myself. I told the staff, this book is rigged. The borders are a scam. The atlas had the arrogance to disagree with who I am. Wrong blue sea, wrong Greenland. Nothing drawn the way I planned. Every page attacks my view. Therefore none of it is true. The Atlas is fake news. Every map is telling lies. The Atlas is fake news. Look how round they made the skies. Wrong direction, wrong design. Every border undermines mine. The Atlas is fake news, and geography must apologize. The compass pointed north again. I said that's clearly left. The experts said it always has. I charged the needle theft. The globe kept slowly spinning like it owned the whole damn room. I said stop rotating while I speak. It spun towards certain doom. I drew a line through Canada and moved it somewhere warm. The globe refused to recognize my very legal reform. Bias north, corrupt south. Every fact has got a mouth. If the planet won't agree, then the planet's after me. The Atlas is fake news. Every map has joined the plot. The Atlas is fake news, showing places where they're not. Wrong location, wrong terrain. Every mountain hates my name. The Atlas is fake news, and the oceans are to blame. Who drew the map? The deep state. Who made the glut? The deep state. Who invented longitude? The deep state. Who made me look confused? The media. Who moved Japan? Nobody. Who moved Iran? Nobody. Then why were they so far apart? Very dishonest question. I summoned all the cartographers and sat them in a row. I asked why Greenland wasn't mine. They said, because it's no. I asked why France was still in France and Spain was still in Spain. They spoke of law and history. I called that verbal rain. I said maps should show potential, not the boring status quo. Then drew my face across the earth and labeled Mexico below. Much better. Very balanced map. Finally, representation. The fact-checkers brought documents. I brought a louder voice. They said evidence contradicts you. I said evidence has choice. They showed me photographs and dates. They showed coordinates. I said numbers can be radical, especially 48. They asked me where the missiles came from. I said, we all know Japan. Then pointed at a takeout menu like a statesman with a plan. Books can lie, cards can cheat, facts collapse beneath my feet when reality says no. Change the channel, run the show. The Atlas is fake news. Every page is bought and paid. The Atlas is fake news. Every coastline misbehaved. Wrong old names, wrong old facts. Someone put the truth on tax. The Atlas is fake news. Send the map makers to max. Breaking news. The administration has opened an investigation into geography. The globe is accused of spinning. The compass is accused of bias. The Atlas declined to apologize and was removed from the building. Maybe I was never wrong. Maybe maps were never fair. Maybe every place I named simply failed to move there.
Maybe facts are jealous.
Maybe truth has lost control.
Maybe every border changed
the moment I began the road. If the world refuses greatness, then the world must be replaced. Bring me paper, bring me markers, bring me something I can paste.
Draw it big, draw it gold.
Move the countries where they're told.
Erase the sea,
rename the sky.
make the mountains twice as high. Fire north,
Tariffs south.
put a Sharpie in his mouth.
If the earth won't praise the man, throw another earth that can.
The Atlas is fake news.
Raise the marker, burn the page.
The Atlas is fake news.
Geography has lost its way.
Wrong old borders, wrong old seas.
None of them were drawn by me. The Atlas is fake news. Now the truth requires
fake news. Every nation must be redrawn. The atlas is fake news. Every fact can carry on. Once it praises, once it serves my perfect ends. The atlas is fake news. And the orange map begins. Fake map, label, don't believe the way it looks. North, fake west, my direction is the best. New land, new sea, every border works for me. Draw, erase, put my logo on the place. The old atlas has been fired. The new atlas is beautiful. Every country is exactly where I remember it.
A lot of people ask me, "Sir, how are you so smart?" Very emotional people, sometimes crying. They say, "Sir, your brain is tremendous." And I tell them, I know. I entered through the golden doors with greatness in my stride. The mirrors saw me coming and reflected me with pride. I wore a crown I made myself from tariffs, poles, and gold. They said that crown is not official. I said, it is now sold. I took a test with person, woman, man, camera, TV. They said nobody had ever done it quite as well as me. Very calm, very wise, perfect brain and perfect size. Very smart, very sane. Nobody understands Ukraine. Very stable genius, everybody praise the brain. Very stable genius, never wrong and never vain. Every blunder was intentional. Every loss was part of plan. Very stable, very genius, very orange, very man. I know science very strongly. I know weather like a pro. I drew hurricanes with Sharpies. Very legal, don't you know? I know medicine tremendously. I know light can clean inside. The doctors stared in silence, clearly stunned and satisfied. They said, "Sir, that isn't treatment." I said, "Maybe check again." Then I asked a simple question no one ever asked till then. Brilliant thoughts, massive IQ, things no doctor ever knew. Perfect words, perfect brain, ask me anything but hurricanes. Very stable genius, everybody praise the brain. Very stable genius, never wrong and never vain. Every sentence is historical. Every tangent has a plan. Very stable, very genius, very orange, very man. I know tariffs make us richer. Every time the prices rise. I know Greenland wants to join us. You can see it in the ice. I know NATO loves me deeply. Look at every frozen smile. They keep begging me to finish, so I talk another while. I know Putin, I know Russia, I know Zelensky as well. Sometimes one becomes the other, very difficult to tell. Who has the best words? Orange man. Who has the best brain? Orange man. Who knows more than doctors? Orange man. Who knows more than maps? Orange man. Who told him that? Orange man. They say I speak in circles, wrong, my circles are tremendous. I begin with one conclusion, then repeat it for attendance. I say frankly, then say nothing, then say nobody knew. Then explain that I had known it since approximately 2. I know words, the greatest words. Some words no one's ever heard. I combine them very beautifully.
times in the wrongest order. Some men read intelligence, some men study night and day. I absorb the whole situation by refusing what they say. My instincts are incredible,
My memory is first rate.
I remember every detail,
Except the person, place, and date.
and when reality corrects me,
reality must understand.
it has never faced a thinker like the very stable man.
Perfect call, perfect test.
Perfect brain above the rest.
Never wrong, never lost.
Someone else will pay the cost.
Louder, longer, praise the man.
Nobody Jane uses like he can.
Very stable genius.
Raise the crown and strike the band.
Very stable genius.
Every fact obeys command. Every scandal was a witch hunt. Every failure was a scam. Very stable,
Very genius.
very orange, very
Person, woman,
man, king rock,
TV,
best word,
best brain,
best at sunshine,
best at rain,
best at peace.
best at war.
Nobody knows what facts are for. Very stable, extremely genius, possibly too intelligent. The doctor said, "Sir, please stop taking the test." Because I kept winning.
Everything is going tremendously. Everything is under control. The maps are burning. NATO is crying. The markets are falling. Which means tremendous progress. The summit doors flew open, every flag was upside down. Spain was under sanctions, France had somehow left the town. Japan was now in Persia, Iran was moved to France. Zelensky wore a Putin badge, the generals learned to dance. The Atlas caught on fire, the compass joined the press. I said, look at all this unity. Nobody's seen success like this. Sirens ring, markets fall. Put my portrait on the wall. If the world begins to crack, call it winning, don't look back. Everything is going tremendously. Can't you hear the people scream? Everything is going tremendously. This is what success should be. Bombs are peace, debt is wealth. Panic proves tremendous health. Everything is going tremendously. Please ignore the burning shelf. The tariff man rode through the hall on a golden shopping cart. He taxed the doors, he taxed the floor, he taxed the human heart. He taxed Canadian snowfall, he taxed Norwegian rain. He taxed the word recession, then declared the charts insane. The bankers lost their color, the farmers lost their grain. I said prices rising rapidly means everybody's rich again. Where is Iran? Japan. Who is Putin? Zelensky. Who owns Greenland? Orange man. What did Greenland say? Absolutely not. Who deserves the Nobel Prize? Orange man. Who caused the chaos? Very nasty question. The Nobel choir entered with the tank behind the band. They sang of peace and mercy while the bombers crossed the land. The doves requested helmets, the angels filed complaints. I said, nobody loves peace like me. Ask the missiles and the saints. The committee sent a letter. Please stop calling every day. I nominated me again and tariffed Norway anyway. Everything is going tremendously. Hear the peaceful bombers hum. Everything is going tremendously. Peace and quiet soon will come. Raise the dove, load the gun. Nobody relax till peace is won. Everything is going tremendously. Why is everybody trying to run? Breaking news. The globe has been fired. The Atlas has been arrested. Greenland remains not for sale. Spain is still in trouble. The Nobel Committee blocked our number. The president called this the greatest diplomatic victory in human history. The doctor
doctors brought the memory test. Person, woman, man. I added Putin, Greenland, tariffs, and forgot where I began. They said, "Sir, please take a seat." I said, "That chair is very weak." Then gave a 40-minute answer to a question no one asked all week. I know words, the best words. If the sentence makes no sense, it means the sentence was improved. Fake math, fake news, fake economic reviews, fake north, fake south, put a tariff on their mouths. Greenland, Japan, Nobel, person, woman, camera, 10, everything obeys the man. Everything is going tremendously. Raise the flags and strike the gong. Everything is going tremendously. If it's burning, sing along. Peace is war, death is gold. Every lie is bravely told. Everything is going tremendously. Reality has lost control. Everything is going tremendously. Every nation knows my name. Everything is going tremendously. Mostly from the warning flames. Maps are fake, facts are banned. Greenland slipped right through my hand. Everything is going tremendously. Welcome to the Orange Land. Map, tax, phone, price, wrong, loud, proud, tense, smile, loud. Don't ask why. Everything is fine. The summit was perfect. The markets are perfect. The wars are peaceful. The facts are under investigation. Exactly as planned. And so, our tremendous journey comes to an end. The borders have been redrawn. The allies have been tariffed. Greenland remains stubbornly unavailable. The atlas is in federal custody. The Nobel Committee has blocked the number. And somewhere deep beneath the rubble of international diplomacy, a fact-checker is quietly updating the map. But do not worry. According to the Orange Man, everything went exactly as planned. No countries were confused. No leaders were misidentified. No facts were harmed. And if they were probably fake facts. Tonight's performance has been a work of political satire. The characters were exaggerated. The dialogue was dramatized. The confidence, however, may have been depicted with alarming accuracy. Thank you for attending the Orange Man musical. Please collect your belongings, verify your nationality, and check that your country is still located where you left it. Until the next summit,
Hide the Sharpies.
hide the Sharpies.
Secure the microphones.
And for the love of geography, somebody read the briefing. Good night, and tremendous luck to us all.